Sweet. Looks like we're live. Looks like we got one person in here, possibly. I'm weeding out the technical issues. That's the first time. Let me know if you can hear me, and if you can see me and I'm not delayed, because that will be a big issue. Sweet. Bills, you can hear me fine. There's no delay in the in my face to video ratio. Let's hope not. Eleven in the morning. Okay, that's not too bad. Where are you from, mate? All good. Okay. What's going on, guys? Okay, sweet. Yeah, there's always complications when I end up doing something new. I always tend to find I've got like hours before I had to weed it out. Who knew YouTube live streaming was going to be so difficult? I tried setting this up a few weeks ago and it ended up biting me in the ass, because apparently you have to wait 24 hours for them to approve you to live stream. So there you go. Amsterdam, wow. 5 a.m. Man, I appreciate you guys coming on here. Because most of you would be Monday morning, right? Or at least Monday. So, look, there's nothing I really wanted to talk about, because my first live stream, right? Well, there's 11 of you in here. Awesome. There's nothing I really wanted to talk about per se. Moving forward, there definitely will be. But I wanted to just kind of weed out the first live stream, maybe get to know some of you guys a bit more, just answer some questions predominantly. Like, I do have a cough as well, so so if it gets too bad, I'm gonna have to pull up. But I've got a big bottle of water here. Is there anything you guys want to know, or you have any questions for me at all? Extra knowledge, yeah. It beats work. You know, just call in sick for the day every Monday. Well, I'm going to try this every Monday at least. The general consensus is that this is the best time for people, I think. And I think, you know, the setup I currently have with the green screen and everything, I think it would be beneficial if I had a screen in front of me so I don't have to keep looking down all the time. It bothers me. I don't know if it bothers you guys, but yeah. Markets are a bit red today, hey? Look, I love when it's red, because people freak out when the markets are red. I prefer when they're down, because it gives another buying opportunity. Of course, in a bull market, it's always good to buy in a bit extra. You tend to get a bit sick of it in a bear market. You just want to see green for once. Yeah, SSB. So, I mean, yeah, kind of like what I was saying just there. I mean, for me, I try to buy when the markets are down, like at least Bitcoin is down like 10% or more, or 5% or more generally on the 7-day. Not the 24-hour or 1 hour, unless there's like a massive crash, of course. I'll just like, you know, scoop up as much as I can. I typically have a list of projects like I want to DCA into that I'm eyeing up. And typically it's more of like the general projects everyone kind of knows already, yeah. That I talk about already. Now, there is a video I'm coming out with probably in a couple days, XDC Network. I haven't spoken about XDC on the channel, but XDC is one of those projects that I see doing extremely well in the future, and I'm obviously going to highlight that on the video. But yeah, it's a phenomenal project in my opinion, highly undervalued. Well, you know, most of these projects are somewhat undervalued, right? To some degree, and somewhat overvalued at the same time, because I mean, what the hell is the guy with all these meme coins, like Pepe coin? You know, it just blows my mind. But, you know, you get some of these other projects that are 619. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you all coming on here. I really, really do. Let me know what you think. I mean, I'm always up for improvements. First live stream, there's going to be lots to go wrong. I'm sure about it. So crucify me down below. I don't mind. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, SSB, for sure. I think I'm going to have, moving forward, this was the first one. I just wanted to kind of, yeah, open up the idea of it, and then moving forward, I kind of wanted to teach a little bit beforehand, have some sort of project I'm looking into, kind of riff a little bit. That's what I love doing, and that's what everyone around me hates me in real life, because the minute I start talking about a certain project or something, I just do not stop. You've got to like pull me up. So that's what I kind of want to get into because you guys will probably love that, right? Yeah, Algorand. Look, I thought they had decent marketing at some point. I mean, you can see that what they're trying to do is try to like advertise themselves to like the Web 2 community, mainly just get their name out there, familiar. You know what I mean? Like plant the seed, essentially, is what they do in retail, right? But I think, yeah, they've kind of started to fall short a bit. I'm not too sure what happened with the FIFA. Apparently, someone told me the FIFA partnership fell through. I mean, they weren't like one of the major sponsors. I believe they were just like the second or third tier sponsor. Nevertheless, I think that fell through, someone told me, and I'm not too sure if they're still sponsoring F1. That is something I have to look into a little bit more. Is Gala still trustworthy? Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. It'll be why, I mean, their mainnet's coming up, yeah, on the 15th of May. What's that, in about a week or so? So we'll see how it moves on. I mean, look, creating your own network is going to introduce so many challenges. So we'll see how they kind of tackle that issue, because it also opens up a whole host of interesting possibilities. Lots of things can happen because of that, rather than just being a smart contract on Ethereum, limited. Even if you are, one of the more flexible token standards. ERC20 only allows you to do certain things, of course. Do I think the bottom is in? Hell no. I'm actually, funny you say that, because I'm making a video tomorrow. I'm probably going to try to make 2 videos that I'm going to talk about why I think there is a Black Swan event due to come. Now, I don't know if the Black Swan is going to come now, as in like the next 2-3 months. It wouldn't surprise me if it does. But I do think one is due within the next 15 months. And if it's not 15, there is a lot of cycles that are kind of falling towards 2026, and I don't like talking about that too much, because I don't want to spook people, and it is kind of very you only really know that if you kind of look at the macro markets themselves. Like the real estate market's going to probably end up crashing. There's like an 80-year or 50-year cycle that actually is going to land on 2026. So a lot of events are happening then, and for me it's like, what's the downside to getting in now? Well, if that sort of situation happens early, well, the prices, forget crypto. Crypto is going to tank another 80-90% from here. I'm not even joking. Like, the general market's going to crash. And I think, from what I've done research on so far and seen, I think all the recent bank collapses, the total liquidated funds came to more than what it was back in the GFC in 2008. Just the bank obviously printed money to bail them out. So there's lots on the horizon. I think it's there's going to be, and I mean, all you have to do is look at China, Taiwan, right, Russia, Ukraine, and how much the US, like, I don't want to swear, but they're effing up really badly, right? So I think, yeah, I'm going to make a video on this. I think there's lots of downside to come. Matter of fact, I think a Black Swan event is due. Probably one that's going to really test the market, and so that's why I'm going to take advantage. That's why I DCA, don't get me wrong, like you see me in my videos, I buy the coins I talk about, but, guys, I'll be completely transparent, I've probably got about $20,000 sitting on the side. I'm just going to keep topping up, but, I plan to have that ready to inject when need be. Floki, BitHawk, I don't really know much about, meme coins, to be honest, brother, but I was on a live stream for my Patreon members today, and one of the guys were talking about Floki. I don't know what's happening here. You tend to get, if you come down here on CoinMarketCap, I mean, there's generally like really interesting comments on a lot of these comment sections here. Sometimes when I'm researching projects, obviously CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko is one of the first places I go to, and then like branch out from there. Obviously, I don't actually ever read these little breakdowns here. If I'm really stuck on some projects, like I was with Quant Network, I remember I was like, where do I even go from here? They've scrubbed everything. I went to Coin Market Cap and I went down here and I was like, okay, I'll read up on the general, what even is it, So is it a blockchain? Is it a DAG? Like, no, it's an operating system. Okay, well, I figured that out down here. But yeah, so I come to these comment sections and there's some very, very funny comments here. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if, no, nothing really mentioned. Is anything that actually happened with these guys? How did I get into crypto? Good question. Morning from Ireland. Good evening from Australia. 7 p.m. over here. Yeah, BRICS. I agree, Bills. BRICS is coming. That actually might be a significant event to talk about as well. I thought the minute I heard that they're creating their own currency, I was like, Bitcoin, what if? And I highly, I'm almost positive that's not going to happen. But wouldn't that be cool, hey? What was I going to answer? How did I get into crypto? Well, I used to work at a bank. I was at the bank for about 4 years, and obviously I had a role that was quite customer based. And I had a customer one day. He's actually a close friend, and he kept coming in and telling me about crypto. And to be honest with you, I was like, crypto scam. Like, I had the typical understanding where it was like, crypto, you put your money in, you can't take it out. Like, this is just like the mass idea of what crypto is. Yeah, like it's just this fake money. They don't have no one really knows what it is. And so I was like, hell no, it's a scam. And then he started coming in like probably once every couple of weeks, and eventually it rubbed off on me so much. I was like, look, I love finance. My whole like idea of finance and like how I wanted to actually make it was with real estate. Or I wanted to also be a financial advisor, funnily enough. Here I am on YouTube saying I'm not, right? It's just how the world works. Anyway, he kept coming in and bugging me, and I was like, eventually, all right, I might just look up Bitcoin. And this is how this is literally how I remember it. I just remember typing in Bitcoin on my computer, and then like this massive like whirlwind happened, and then here I am. Like it's literally how I think of it. The last like X amount of years, whatever it's been now, has just been a massive fog. But I'm so glad I got into it. But this is what I want to do. And initially, I actually got into crypto because I was like, if I just get into crypto, I'm going to make millions, right, in the coming bull market. And then I'm going to sell and just buy a brick and mortar. That was my initial idea. And then I was like, that's still my plan. Don't get me wrong. My whole philosophy is brick and mortar, brick and mortar, brick and mortar. Also, I think gold and silver has its place as well, because where the world's heading, well, it's going to be a shit show soon. But my plan is to continue to buy real estate. That's the plan. It's always good having cash, of course, but because I think, I read a book called The Armchair Investor, and that book really stuck with me. And it's like, if you can just, own 3 or 4 properties, right? You can live on like $100,000 to $150,000 a year, like armchair, meaning that you're just sitting back, relaxing, and that money's coming through. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's fantastic for people that don't have the time or want to free up more time. GMX, I've heard of GMX multiple times now. Let's have a look. Give us the TLDR. No, never mind. Yeah, for those who have just come in, sorry, I am getting a little bit sick. I think I'm just run down, so if I do start coughing, decentralized perp exchange. All right, this will be cool. Trade Bitcoin, ETH, Avax, and other top cryptocurrencies with up to 50x leverage. Whew. Okay, that's not okay. The user total, I mean, for a project this high in the market cap, that ain't that much. But I'm guessing, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this looks like this is like pretty hard to do. Oh, they're on Arbitrum. That makes a bit more sense. And Avax. Fast TPS, low finality. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you right now, it wouldn't be a project I invest in, and I'll tell you exactly why it wouldn't be a project I invest in. I look for projects that are future-proof. I look for projects that just think of it like this: if I died tomorrow and I have all my keys and private keys in a black book, and I have it in a place that my family knows. If I died tomorrow, I would be comfortable with them having all my assets and just, in my will say, or, I haven't done my will yet to be completely fair, but I probably should do that now that I say that. I should, have it in my will, or just at least mention to them that, these are projects. This is stuff that you can, forget about, and then come back, and maybe one of my relatives picks up in 10, 15 years time and goes, holy crap, let's have a look what these are now. And then they're worth multi millions. I mean, that's my mental, right? Because this project might be good. Let's just say it takes off. It just doesn't have that, Hedera, Quant, I always everyone throws around these names, but they truly are some of the best projects, at least that we have right now. Will we have an alt season? Well, I think we kind of have been, yeah? I think we almost have been, because the fact that meme coins are popping off, the fact that we have projects going on. I mean, it's not a typical alt season, yeah? But we're in a bear market. There's like these mini narratives that pop off and come up and shoot up and down. It's like you've just kind of got to pick the right time and the right narrative. Meme coins are interesting because I'm looking at getting more into them. Just having like maybe a couple $100 and maybe no more investing than $50 a pop and just speculating. I mean, if you guys know the channel for a while, you know how much I hate meme coins, but I think they do have their place. Maybe I've just got FOMO. That's definitely a possibility, but they're not. I think they're good to speculate on, that's for sure. I mean, we're in crypto. I mean, you may as well take full advantage of what the market's offering, right? But again, it's going to be very, very small amounts, and just amounts that I'm happy to say goodbye to. Pure speculation. But yeah, to answer your question, I think alt seasons really end up shining like in the precipice, if not like the early parts of the bull market. Of course, they end up going off. But I think what you need to think to yourself is not so much if it's going to be an alt season, because you'll begin to panic. At least I know from my personal experience and close friends, you just start to panic when it's alt season, because you're like, oh, money here, money here, money here. And what ends up happening is you're like, look at all these lucky bastards that have got in like, 10 weeks ago, 2 months ago, maybe even 6 months ago. They've made like these, 50, 70 X's, and I'm here just scraping through getting like a 4X. What the hell? And for me, like, that comes down to, you have to find the narratives now. Get in the narratives now. I made a video recently on this. I might actually pop it up, but I probably should have had this ready beforehand. Actually, I'll do it. I'll get it up and show you guys what I'm talking about here, because this is my Miro. Starting a crypto portfolio? No, it's not that one, I don't think. Here I am, unprepared. But yeah, this is, here we go. This is a video I recently made. And so like, these are some of the narratives, yeah? Like, we got to look wide, find the narratives first, because you're already like one step ahead of like majority of the market in that case. And you don't want to go all in on one narrative. Like, if you prefer a narrative, let's just say you're a gaming freak, right? Like, if you went all in on gaming, well, you're missing out on quite a lot of other projects, because gaming might not pop off to the end of the bull market, for all you know, for all anyone knows. It might not even pop off. Like, we just don't know, because there is also this uncertainty regulation cloud as well. So in my opinion, find narratives, be a bit diversified in each of these narratives. If you prefer one, sure, go invest in more projects in that narrative. That's just who you naturally, what you naturally want to invest in. You don't see successful people not invest in what they love, because ultimately what you love is what you're good at, and what you're good at is typically, you can vet them better. You know what I'm saying? So, but these are some of the narratives that I prefer. So yeah, I try to be very, very diversified. That's the very long answer to your question. Mr. Panda, what's going on? Tintin. Global crypto regulations equals XLM will blow up. Yeah, honestly, XLM's going to melt faces, especially if XRP's lawsuit finalizes before 2025, which I probably have a pretty good, I'm pretty confident in saying it will. Vam, thanks, mate. Appreciate you rocking up to every video, watching them, loving them. Again, I mean, this is something I reiterate in every single one of my, all my comments anyway. If you guys ever have anything you want to see, obviously I can't get to everyone's stuff immediately, or if you think that you'd prefer to see some type of content, I'm the one person that will I just love to receive constructive criticism. So if there's anything that you want to see, improvements, whatever, I mean, I'll make it happen. What do you think of Chainlink and its CCIP protocol? They want to take on competition in the interoperability space, and they have the biggest and most partnerships ever. Look, Chainlink isn't a project I've looked at for probably a couple months now, since I think I made a video on it, and I did a look at. Chainlink is one, but I must say, Bills, this is one project I really should be looking at more, because I do own some of the tokens, but not as much as I should. I love it. And this is one thing I talk about in my videos. You guys need to really understand this, right? It's called embedding. It's a type of online defensibility. There's 4 types of so-called online defensibilities digital businesses can utilize to create a strong user base. And this isn't just like crypto. This is like Web 2 businesses. Like, this is what is taught to entrepreneurs to build into their networks and build into their whole USP, right? And one of those is embedding. And it's just like this, okay? Chainlink is embedded. If you could picture it like layers of a cake, right? Chainlink is pretty much like built into the stack, the bottom layer stack, along with the layer 1 that the projects are built upon, because so many networks rely on it for Oracle services. And the fact that you say, the CCIP, they're looking at tackling interoperability, then hell yeah. I would just say I need to review that, because maybe let's have a look at Chainlink now, matter of fact. Because I'm pretty well versed in interoperability, at least I think so. Yeah, fantastic project. Bro, did you look at Coin? They are working with DAG on the US Air Force project. Yeah, Tintin. One of my now friends who helped me with the DAG video and getting to the bottom of some stuff that you wouldn't typically be able to get to as someone who's just looking at the project in a general sense. He's actually a big Coin fan, and I know I haven't actually had a look at it yet, but I trust him. He's a very smart guy. If he says it's good, it's probably good. Will Near Protocol do good again? I invested over 2,200 DCA, but it's only going down. Yeah, look, one thing you got to do is like focus on the long term. Like if you're invested in Near Protocol or any project, and you're like thinking to yourself, like you're looking at the charts and going, it's down, oh my god, and you're like checking it every day or every hour, then you need to go, what project am I happy to invest in that I don't care what happens in the next 1 month, let alone 1 hour, 6 months, who cares? And that's when it comes down to like, you're then invested in the business, you're invested in the team, you're invested in the idea or the meme. And so that's what I am invested with in all my projects, but particularly Near Protocol. I'm actually invested for their massive run up. I believe one of the biggest updates that's going to happen in 2025 will be the Nightshade implementation. Their sharding solution will be fully implemented, because the network right now, believe it or not, it's not actually working how it's intended to be it's like run. It's like only 2/3 of the way there, and the last third is like the most important part. Now, do I think it's going to cause massive demand? Yes. Are these events typically overhyped and bought up to that? Yes. So be careful. We might not have like a massive run up, but I think over time it'll definitely grow to that. So I think Near Protocol is a great project. Recently they changed their, I know, sorry, I was Tintin, I'm supposed to, not Tintin, sorry, Bills, I'm supposed to be getting to Chainlink. But yeah, I think Near Protocol has recently changed their whole MO or business model to be a blockchain operating system, which is kind of like ICP, right? Being like the bottom layer for the whole like Web3. So before it was kind of like uncertain, like why the hell would Near Protocol even be used? Like, this is something I've been thinking of, like, what's the point in Near Protocol? Like, yeah, it's a fantastic interoperability layer 1 blockchain that's, very expansive, you can do so much with, but like, again, I'm looking at projects that are going to be like 10, 15, 20 years down the track that if I ever pass away, my family can, have that certainty that those projects are going to be pretty good. While Near Protocol, I believe recently with the rebrand, has that. And that's why I love Definity. That's why I love ICP, right? Because they already have had that for a long time now. Chainlink. Okay, I got sidetracked. So are they going to have anything on their interoperability solution off the rip? No, I'm okay. It might be something I have to look more into then. Matter of fact, I think I remember actually looking into that when I did the refresher for that video I did like a couple months ago. Anyway, This is something I need to look into. But yeah, I'm a big bull on Chainlink, and people like, oh, you know, Chainlink, it's worth $3.4 billion. How much more can it go up? Okay, maybe fair enough. Maybe it's not going to go up, you know, 50x, but that's fine because the people that want the 50x, you need to bring that down a little bit. What I'm talking about more so in my videos recently is like, okay, find what your minimum expectation for reward is in that project. If you're looking for 100x minimum and that's it, well, simple as this. Don't even look at the top 200 projects. Look more at the 200 down, if that, okay? Because that's like the real micro cap projects. I think the whole like 100x phase is like slowly started to fade off. People are becoming more sentient, I'm gonna say. After watching you, I bought 1500 algo. Nice, man, nice. I mean, of course, it's not financial advice, but if you thought my information, the way I presented that was good, then I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. I try to, in my videos, I talk so fast, not because I choose to, but because my brain is like ticking over 100 miles an hour because I want to share so much. Like I used to do like 30 to 50 minute videos, right? And I could slow the pace with those, but I want to like provide you with so much information. So I'm glad that you found that. Avax analysis, good question. Okay, so this is a funny story, and I haven't told this to many people. So Sheldon Evans, you guys, he's a YouTuber. He's got about 700,000 subscribers. When I first got into crypto, might have been about a year after. Obviously, I started reading more white papers and like loving it. And so I got, somewhat versed in the whole economic scene and also the tech side of it. Anyway, he was doing a thing where he was like looking for someone to write scripts up for him and like analyze projects so he could talk about them on his channel. Long story short, we got on a call. The first step was submitting like an application. They accepted it, and then what was crazy is the first thing I got on a call with him and his business partner. And they were like, it was a bit surreal, right? And I was just like asking them questions. They were asking me questions. They're like, right, this all looks good. What we're going to do is, before we finalize who wins this, we're going to send you like an email, and could you analyze a project for us based on a specific subject matter? I was like, yeah, sweet. Okay, so no worries. I get the email a couple hours later, and it's like, review Avax based on this information. And it was like some crazy thing like why subnets are like better than a potential Ethereum shard or something like that, right? And so they're like, we want it, it's due in 18 hours. I was like, oh, you were kidding me. I had like work at that time and all that sort of stuff. I had a YouTube channel to maintain still. I was doing something else. Anyway, so I like had an all-nighter. I was like so tired at work, come home, and then I ended up submitting it, and then it was ghost. But anyway, that document is still out there somewhere, so I would love to give that to you if I can find it, because that'll... But yes, I would love to review Avax again. I think it's got its place. I just need to analyze it again to be sure. Casper, I love Casper 619. DC, what up? Yeah, I love Casper for sure, man. This is one of the projects I want to review. I haven't reviewed yet on the channel, but I want to bring up soon, as well as XDC Network. I've got some Casper tokens, yeah. Render, I love Render. I don't own any of the tokens, but I want to start buying it when it drops lower. Render is kind of like ICP. Yeah. Okay. Year to date. Okay, yeah, see what I'm talking about here? So, I mean, year to date, it was at 40 cents. So when we're talking about a good time to buy, right? Year to date was, now, I don't just click year to date because I want to just have like a nice, the 1st of January. I pressed that because this is when Bitcoin hit 16,500 bucks. Coincidentally, right? Boom, right here. So you can see this actually beats any of this action back here. And, okay, not quite on par with 2021 back here, but nevertheless, most projects it is. So year to date's a good metric to look at, or a good time to look at. 40 cents, I mean, we're pretty inflated right now. I think that's because the project was pumped up quite a bit. But yeah, Flux was the project, right? So Flux is another decentralized computing project, one that I love a lot. Jordan, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming in. I appreciate all you guys being here. I know I haven't been able to call you out individually, but yeah, it's fantastic. Appreciate you all. Crypto Anonymous, yeah, sold my Glimmer, bought Pepe, double my money, now buying. Man, that is it. Props to you, brother. Props to you. That's called quick feet, man. That's I'm happy for you. I mean, look, this is at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with doing exactly that. I mean, what else do we do? You know, when the market pumps or when there's an event or unlocked tokens, we typically buy in and we sell at the top and we rebuy in again. I mean, this is what I typically do. So, you know, the fact that you sold Glimmer, a good project, bought Pepe, doubled or whatever your money, and bought back in, man, I love it. Man, I just I don't know why people crap on, you know, others when they make money. I just don't get it. I mean, envious, sure. I love to see it. Smash the like button, yes. Yes. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to keep this on the channel, but why not? Maybe. I'll do this every week, so I guess it'll be something to look back and laugh at some point, yeah? How low's BTC going? 7? Gosh. Well, if my predictions come true, I'm going to probably say quite a bit lower. You know, I don't really fall into the same category as the people like under 10K. I don't know about that. It's got to probably push through some pretty strong levels of support for that to actually happen. What did we get down here? Yeah, again, that's the start of the year, right? So, getting back down to this level, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. But I feel like if the Black Swan event happens, that'll be a very quick and sharp chance for us to grab it, probably near the 10K mark, maybe up to 14K. That's what as I said before, I mean, I've got about 20 grand-ish off to the side, ready to inject in that case, and mark my words, I will do that. Without hesitation. Sorry if I'm missing some of your messages, by the way, guys. I'm using my phone right now to track all this because I'm in my studio. My main computer is out to the side, so I don't have my big screen set up. So I'm doing it dodgy style. Jasmine, yeah. You know, okay, can I just say something real quick? I don't know about Jasmine, guys. I mean, I haven't looked into it. I was very brief look, and I was like instantly turned off. Instantly turned off when I saw the page. And I know they're like a Japanese coin, right? So they're not like, and they have it all in English, of course, but following last year's realization of the commercialization structure and listing on domestic and international currency exchanges, Jasmine will strengthen its management structure. Okay, right, that's just, I don't know why it's saying that for. Outline the transition. But yeah, it got delisted from Binance, is that right? I mean, the fact that Binance lists Pepe coin doesn't scream good days to me. But yeah, I need to look more into this because I don't know what the hype is all about. Let's just go back to the old trusty CoinMarketCap, see if they have a little, here we go. Look, see, this does come in handy. Yeah. Okay, that sounds interesting to me. Okay, that actually sounds interesting, right? IoT. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. You can see how quickly my mind changes. You know, once I have this is why the more time you can spend in the market and researching, the better, because like you can instantly and I'm not saying I'm an expert by any stretch of the imagination. I would never want to classify myself as such, but like you begin familiarizing yourself with prosperous industries or niches, whatever it might be, right? And even like the tech, like you hear about ABFT or whatever it might be, right? Secure, proof of stake, and these sort of things versus delegated, and your mind goes, okay, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So yeah, I actually thought that they were doing something like Bitcoin, but for Japan, but apparently it's IoT, which is good because this is actually something that will be needed to be used in the future. Vam, hi, can you break down Aptos? What would be your price to start DCA into Aptos, please? I had a few documents open the other day about Aptos, and I stopped looking into it for some reason. I think I might have just wanted to review a different project at the time. But there was a lot of people were saying Aptos isn't that good. Was it because there's quite a bit of centralization in the project, or maybe it's the token distribution? something like that. Yeah, to find a good DCA level, I mean, there's a fair bit of work that goes into it, right? But the main question you have to ask yourself is how much do you want as a minimum return? And once you kind of find that minimum return, whether it's a 10x, 20x, 30x, because after all, we're investing in the project. Typically, 99.9% of us are doing that because we want a return. So if you're looking at Aptos and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I want a 30x, or like I expect the project to do X, well, you know, you can start to gauge how much, whether you should invest in the project at all. But typically I'll look at the market dominance, right? And then this is a very quick method. Of course, I go into a bit more detail on my own time, but from what I've discovered recently with my new videos, I'm just talking about dominance and then also supplementing possible breakouts with the dominance versus price with upcoming events. That's a very quick way you can figure out what the minimum-ish should go to in the future, and then you can figure out how many multiples you need to start dollar cost averaging, because maybe $8.50 is enough for you to start dollar cost averaging. Or maybe you're someone who you want, like, just let's just say a minimum 20x. You might have to start investing at like $4 from that point that you found on the dominance chart, right? Yeah, Algo will reach over 100 billion market cap next bull run. Probably. There's a good chance that happens. There's also a very good chance it doesn't. Depending on... Now, this lawsuit thing, right? It's not a lawsuit. I'm pretty sure like the SEC redacted what they were saying anyway. But yeah, there's no official filings. People are just scared, right? This is a market. Markets are controlled by the people. People buy when they think it's going to go up. People sell when they think it's going to go down. And so like, if you can just understand the hive mindset, you know, that's why Algo is so far down right now, because everyone's like, the SEC name dropped them, but like apparently it was the way that Bittrex, the lawsuitee, is that right? The way that they were managing it was very sus, and so that's why they named it then. So yeah, it's just a good time to buy. Like, people are scared right now. Strong conviction in Flux, yeah. Yeah, the WordPress integration, I did see that. That is huge, right? POUW, man, I love it. It's like the way I see proof POUW, right, is like they're already utilizing this decentralized cloud structure with all the nodes. And then they're going, right, we're still using computational, there's lots of computational waste still. Like, let's use that in the same sort of manner. I'm just like, that's so simple, but that makes so much sense. Makes so much sense. Yeah, I was supposed to review the founder of Flux last week, but unfortunately Dan had something he had to attend to. It could be a completely legitimate reason. But yeah, no, so great project. Love them. Jasmine and Scan, no open source dev wave. What's going on? Yeah. But, you know, GitHub's interesting because if we focus on GitHub and, pardon me, and think, okay, if it's not open sourced, it's a crap project. Now, not saying you're completely saying that at all, right? I'm kind of nitpicking a bit what you said here. This is just a general situation. It sometimes isn't that, like, important, because you look at a project like Hedera, for example, you know, with the hash graph, they had that patented for a long time simply because of those online defensibilities I was talking about. They had to protect the network. If they open source the hash graph from the get-go, you're going to have teams with more money, more manpower, more time, probably more ambition too, right? They're going to want to come in there and go, okay, right, this is a hash graph. Let's just make it super fast, super scalable, and just shard it straight away. And then, you know, Hedera's down here at a 500 spot, and then this random project just copied the hash graph, forked it, and then... So, yeah, but I know that you're not saying that directly, but that's just something I wanted to point out. So many questions, guys. I'm so sorry. I'd love to get to you all. Maybe in the future I'll come up with a strategy where I can... Or maybe moderators, yeah? I'm thinking about getting some mods. So if you guys actually, this is probably a good time to mention it. If you want to become a moderator in the chat, I'm guessing the more of these we do, the more chance bots are going to come in. Let me know. Send me a DM. You go on my Twitter, flick me a DM. I'll look at the DMs after the stream. And if you're able to come every single Monday at right now at 7:41 p.m. my time, so 41 minutes prior to what it is right now, if you can do that, let me know, because I'll make you mod after a call maybe, and we can, yeah. Big water bottle. Your boy's getting sick. Okay, what's your biggest holdings besides Bitcoin or Ethereum? I'm pretty sure it's HBAR and Quant. HBAR, Quant. Actually, I probably should look at that. I should make a video very soon because I promised someone a breakdown of that. But definitely HBAR is my number one by far. By far. And I'm going to start buying more Quant, but I want it to really go underneath $100. I was very tempted when it was like 110 the other day, or 111, but I held off for that. Again, I only have so I don't have endless money, guys. Like, I have most of my coins from last bull market still in. I'm an idiot and didn't take any of them out because I was expecting the 100k Bitcoin like a fool. I definitely learned a lot from that. But I only dollar cost average from the money I make from YouTube and Patreon. Right, this is my full-time gig, so I'm trying to bring you guys content every day because I'm doing this full-time. And yeah, so I'm just using that money to dollar cost average in. And that's pretty much it, right? I have a big pot of cash that I spit off part of that every single week and try to build that up. But when I find a really good price, when a token's at okay, I'm looking at Algorand, Algorand for example, really good price right now. I don't care if it drops 20% lower. I'll just dollar cost average from there. My overall dollar cost average into Algorand was much higher than what I bought in at the other day at about 18 cents or so. So for me, it's if I can just go really heavy into the project. Now, for a lot of people, $3.5 ain't that much money, and realistically, it's not. But for me, that is quite a bit of money out of my portfolio, right? So yeah, I just brought that overall DCA down a little bit more. So hopefully, if the bull market does come up, I mean, I'm happy making a quick buck on that, even if it is a 10, 20x. What's the ideal portfolio size in crypto? I'm holding 20 coins and can be very hard to track. That's a very good question, and you answered your own question in a way, right? So yeah, for me, I mean, when I do, so I've got a tier on Patreon where I look at building people's portfolios, and so it really does depend on how much money you have able to invest and dollar cost average per week, and then looking at your risk profiles. But I would say on general, you don't really want to go over 15 projects, and the very base general I would say to someone not knowing any prior information is, if you can't invest $1,000 into that project tomorrow, you probably shouldn't be buying it, right? That's just the very basic, very, very basic rundown, right? It obviously does depend per person. So yeah, I would say 20 projects is way too much. If you can't manage it yourself, what I've actually done is created a separate Twitter account and have got all the projects I've bought and followed all their accounts, plus followed every single verified account that might be associated with announcements or news, and then followed one or two more third-party announcement channels as well. So I'm up to speed with that. I've got my browser to allow all notifications for that, so I just get pinged when something comes out, and that's why I can make videos sometimes pretty quickly on new events, right? Greg, what's going on, my boy? Everyone say hello to Greg. Greg Lunt, my man. Mick Lovin, how's it going, bro? Yeah, will you invest in KDA? Maybe, because like any project, there's still room to grow. They're a very new project, but I feel like when I made that Cadena full breakdown video, there was a lot that they still needed to work on, right? And I still feel like there is, but they're making strides. It would be kind of harsh for me to say no and block them out and put them on the blacklist, because there's definitely it's not just as simple as okay, this project's bad forever. Just Dogecoin, for example. Once upon a time, Dogecoin was just a meme coin. Now it's kind of grown into something a little bit more than that, right? Thanks to Elon, of course. But nevertheless, it's always good to keep your eye on certain projects and go, okay, from time to time we'll check in on you and we'll have a look. Plus, they have a great team, right? Hey bro, can you do a review on Crest Network that has a potential to blow up next bull market if it even hits the 2021 2.5 billion insane? I've actually reviewed Crest Network in the past. It was my old sort of style review, so I don't know if the message got across in that one as good as what I probably could do now. But yeah, from what I know, they're like building from off IPFS, right? So there's no like on chain. They haven't created like their own chain. They're a parachain, right? But they leverage IPFS. VAM, okay. Please don't dodge this question, Kyron. That's a good way to get my attention. Now I'm intrigued. You're one of my fave trustworthy YouTuber. Thank you. Really appreciate that, mate. I really do. That means a lot. Which YouTubers do you like? Wow, okay. That's a good question. That is a good question. I never used to watch a lot of YouTubers. So going back to the last 12 months, I haven't. Now I've got a mentor helping me out quite a bit recently. And he's been telling me like, you really can't just do everything yourself. There's no way that you can look at the macro market, get a good idea of what's happening, do your YouTube videos, which take quite a bit of time, right? And then go into individual projects in your spare time, and then go into like I obviously look up not how to analyze crypto projects, but like look up a specific thing that might help me analyze projects and then bring that to you. And it's like, that takes so much time. And so he's like, start looking at other YouTubers. So there's a YouTuber called George Gammon, who is really, he's like my favorite YouTuber right now. He talks about macro events. He talks about just basic like financial things, but he's so compelling. So yeah, I love watching him. There's a few other ones that I watch, but no crypto YouTubers. I'll be 100% honest with you guys, because I've like reached a point now where I don't have to like look at someone else's videos and go, I'm going to learn something from this. As like cynical as that might sound to some of you, this is like the ideal position that you really want to be in, because I used to just like get a whole bunch of YouTubers, find the general consensus on a project, go, okay, everyone's saying it's good, one person's saying it bad, but majority wins, right? And then going, okay, I'm going to buy it. And like not even looking at it like, okay, let's look at a dollar cost average level, or let's look at a level to buy in at like minimum max. I was like, F it, I'm just going to buy in. And that's how I lost a fair bit of money, right? So there's no YouTubers I watch because, in my opinion, I can do it all myself. If I don't have the time to, I'll typically just like gloss over the website. I just come over here and go, what is it, right? And figure it out myself. And if it fits like a niche or something I'm really interested in, I think it has like future potential, yeah, I'll look at it a bit more. I might even watch a couple of YouTube videos, but they won't be from specific YouTubers. Clary, pleasure you're on. Good to see you again, mate. Is baby Pepe a scam? They're probably all scams, bro. See if it shows up here. I mean, look at them all. They're all spawning up already. You know what I'm saying? And Pepe, my God. Like 887 million market cap. This hit about 1.5 billion the other day, didn't it? Oops. I mean, whew, look at that chart. Aren't you kicking yourself you didn't get in? No. The answer is no. Well, yes, I lie. Yes, it is. 1.6 billion market cap. Wow. I mean, I'm happy for anyone that made money on this project. I just would, when I get angry, it's not angry at people that invest in this type of stuff. I get angry at the projects, at the scumbags that create these coins specifically just to dump on people. And like, you got to think about it. Why would you make a meme coin? Like, why would you take advantage of a popular thing? Or this is why I talk about memetics, right? Why the hell has Pepe popped off so much? Well, because it's a very good meme. We all know it. It's already out there. It's like, doesn't require much getting ahead of, like different to Dogecoin, right? So that's why I talk about memes in my project, in my videos regarding projects. How memeable is a project? Because if you can have an event like Pepe where it's just like, my God, this project is XYZ, again, boiled down. Their USP, their message in general is boiled down. Yeah, it's a great project to buy, in my opinion. Because it's obviously like people, if it's memeable, it means easily spreadable. Like I can easily tell you guys now, hey, check out XYZ, check out Kyron Coin because XYZ. And you go, oh my God, XYZ, that's what I want. That's perfect. That sounds so good. You go on the website's memeable, presented well. That's why it's very important for like a marketing sense for a project to be presentable. You're going to want to buy in, right? And so that's the idea behind it. Again, sorry guys for skipping around the comments. I have my phone here. I'm half blind now. The fact that I stare at a screen for like 16, 17 hours a day doesn't help. Razul, my brother, I'm good. Thank you for jumping on. Again, thank you to everyone for being here. Really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Con, just here to listen and say hello and like the stream. Thank you, mate. Thoughts on Phala? I haven't looked at Phala for yonks. I looked at these guys back when I was doing the parachain videos, which is probably, and I got to a point where I was making these parachain videos and everyone was like, he's the Polkadot guy. I was like, no, that's not what I'm here for. I mean, I love Polkadot, but I'm more than just a Polkadot meat stick. I don't know where I was going with that. Phala Network. Computation for Web3. Phala Network is a decentralized cloud that offers secure and scalable computing. Yeah, I completely forgot everything about this project. Workers. Okay, so what's that, like maybe nodes? vCPU, cities, low latency, high performance, tokenomics. Okay, it's good to look at tokenomics. Technical white paper. Okay, yeah, this is all just like that fluff. Like it's not fluff. It's obviously explaining the project, which is good. But it's kind of like if they can sell what the project is, what they're doing in this initial landing page, that's what you want, right? That's typically the meme in a way, because they've got copywriters creating the website that have obviously boiled down what the project is. So essentially, most projects you can pretty much confidently say, this is their meme. Some of them do waffle, don't get me wrong. Some of them don't even have this, so you'll have to do some of that work yourself. But yeah, so answer your question, Phala, I'll have to do more research into it. And this is the thing, guys, I can give you a roundabout answer with these projects. I can just talk out of my ass and read this and say, yeah, I think it's a good project, but I'm not gonna tell you guys to look at if a project's good or bad if I haven't done my research on it. Circulating supply though, yeah, that's not something you want to see. But in saying that, you know, you do find, like with Veracity, for example, right? Anyone looking at this will go, holy crap, 9%, that's shocking. But majority of those tokens will never be circulated. CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko refuse to use verified Veracity statistics that say that the max supply is a lot different or this. So yeah, CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko are shooting them in the foot. Shooting them in the foot? Just shooting them in general. If you started a channel called Some BS Crypto, here we go, what would your first video be about? My God, that is a very interesting question, Greg. I don't know. Guys, what do you think? What should my answer be in that question? If you started a channel called Some BS Crypto, what would my first video be? What do you guys think? Some BS Crypto. It would definitely be, I would say, meme orientated. But then again, I'd have to put my own twist to it, so probably not. It'd for sure be giving like an outlandish price prediction on like a very high market cap project. Bitcoin's gonna 100x. That'd be it. That would be the answer to that question, Greg. Someone clip that and take out the first part and let's just get the Bitcoin will 100x. Is it George Diamond? Can you post the link? Thanks. Yeah, sure, man. This is why I'd love to have moderators. I'll just YouTube him, hey? George Gammon, the legend, the man, the myth. This guy right here, George Gammon. If you guys can, watch this man's content. Watch this man's content. You will learn so much there is to learn about the general market situation. He tells it how it is. I'm surprised this guy isn't cancelled, matter of fact. He has 474k subscribers. this man really truly does deserve a hell of a lot more. I mean, just go back and binge watch his content. I mean, you can see me here on even just my laptop. I never use my laptop, only for recording, right? And I've even watched some of his videos. Yeah, so actually there is a video I would probably recommend you guys watch. I don't know how far, no, that's 9 months, way too long ago. Anyway, they got secret truth about CBDCs. The Fed just broke everything. Yeah, anyway, good content. Here, my opinion about ICP. Do you see this project recovering? Yes. So the ICP had a lot of issues regarding their launch because of FTX. They somehow artificially pumped up the price, or there was some situation with FTX again. I actually am like midway through like passively reviewing ICP. Every day I do about an hour of research. But yeah, so I haven't looked into that section just yet, more so the tech, pardon me. And yeah, so far it looks excellent. It was definitely artificially pumped and then sold. Typical launch of most projects, right? Because we even have Sui over here. I'm reviewing Sui this week, guys. Is Sui going to be still a worthwhile investment? Well, we're going to figure it out together because I haven't researched it yet. At least recently, right? So yeah, I mean, a huge dump. And we find that projects tend to do this when they have really, really piss poor distribution investing, right? When they give out too much tokens and those tokens are immediately unlocked. This is what happens. Like this should be a warning to all, like I don't understand. This is simple economics. This is just simple tokenomics. And these guys have millions and millions of dollars to buy the best of the best, and they still manage to F up. I guess it must just be hard to sell the project, and they have to give away too much and let that unlock too soon. Thank you for checking out Phala. No worries, brother. Of course. Love the content. Really enjoying it. The Versus series. Thanks, Harry. Now, those videos take me a while to create, but worth it because I'm like figuring that out in real time as I'm making the videos. So I love it. Meme or YouTube? Meme or YouTube shillers? Plenty of BS there. Yeah. You know, there's so many YouTubers that I can just tell. Like when you have a pretty good understanding of how cryptocurrencies work. I'm not going to name drop. That's just, I'm not going to do that. But there are a select few YouTubers that I'm on a constant eye out. I just kind of like watch like the first 30 seconds of their video. Sometimes they don't know what they're talking about. But like, there's no problem with that. Like you do you. Like you're on a grind. That's respectable. But where I draw the line is when like people are going to listen to that and buy projects because of what they say. That is where I get like super angry. I've literally been like furious before, to the point I almost wanted to scream because like, again, I was someone that like lost tens of thousands of dollars when I first started, and I wish I had that money now, and so that was simply because, well, one, it's my fault, but two, people don't know what they're talking about. So some BS crypto should have all the coins crypto banter shills. Maybe this is a channel I should actually create, Greg. Thank you. And the content will be suggestions from the live streams, and we'll create content together. I'm just the face of it. You guys are the brains. We'll just create like the most memeable crypto YouTube content there is. We'll make a DAO and we'll split the revenue. No worries, Pete. Cheers for that. Yep. Some BS inverse channel, shilling tops and missing bottoms. I love that. That's the motto. Subscribe to George Gammon, and that's how much I trust you. My man, you will not regret it. That is one thing I can confidently, certainly say. You will not regret that subscription. I suggest you hit the bell icon too. Are you still bullish on Sui? The price took a hit recently. Yeah, that's what I was saying just then. I mean, I thought I had the Sui chart up just then. That's how similar it is to ICP. Actually, matter of fact, that is an ugly looking chart. I would say, okay, so this part here, guys, I would just completely disregard this. That never happened, right? This is the price action. It'd be a bit more flexible if this wasn't here, right? Because that's obviously skewed the price action, right? Yeah, and then look, I'm going to review it this week, by the way. Reviewing it this week, so you will have my honest, no BS crypto review on Sui, whether it's a good project or not still. Right? Because I want to know, like, you got to understand, like, when I make these videos, because they take literally like 7 to 9, maybe even 10 hours sometimes, I'm reviewing the project as I'm making the video. Obviously, most of the projects I review, I know in pretty good depth, right? I've done deep dives like I'm doing with Internet Computer Protocol right now, I'll just review it in my own time every like 1 or 2 hours every day. And over time, I will like know the project very well. So I can just riff on it like Cadena, Quant, things like that. But the real trick is knowing about the recent events happening in that project. Kind of like Chainlink is a perfect example, right? There are some that like stick in my mind, like near protocol, where it's like, okay, Nightshade is such a significant upgrade, I'm just going to remember that for a long time. But like when an event comes out, and this is again why I was talking about earlier, where it's important that you locate only a certain amount of projects that you're able to actually maintain on a daily basis. You can look into them every day and find updates and go through the Medium articles and all the blogs. It's just unsustainable for me. And I'm one person, so I actually have one guy helping me out right now. Actually, a couple guys with the news. So that's what I'm doing. I've got a couple legends helping me out there. What do you think about the new trend, BRC20 tokens, BTC? BRC20? Is that ERC20 or BEP20? If that is BRC20, I've never heard of it. Unless you mean that that's Bitcoin specific tokens. In that case, I did see something today where someone was mentioning that the ordinals NFT program melted Bitcoin. I mean, that's a given, right? Of course, Bitcoin is not supposed to handle NFTs on the blockchain. You see what the problem here is with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has, and this is a rant I love to go on, Bitcoin has moved away from its true white paper, right? The peer-to-peer electronic cash system. It has moved away. If you read that, it's nothing like it, okay? So where it is now, it's more of this like digital gold, if you will, okay? Where it's like a store of value. It never was intended to be. It was intended so that to be very cheap, so we can just pay each other peer-to-peer. So there's no middleman at all. It truly is peer-to-peer. So over time, the core developer team, right? There's the core team. They just got keys to upgrade the protocol, right? They have changed it so much so that it is nothing like it used to be. And the fact that they've got ordinals on Bitcoin now is like the true cherry on top. That's like giving me a high five and saying, yep, we've truly effed it up now. That's how I see it. What do you think about the new, just answer that question. What do you think of AMP? Never heard of AMP. Unless I have and I just don't know the ticker for it. No. Hyperspace or AMP? I'm guessing it's AMP. Man, there's so many projects, like, you know, even projects in the top 200 or even 100, like, you've like never heard of them before. You're like, holy crap, why haven't I, like, it's 132 mil market cap, you know? AMPtoken.org. Let's take money into the 21st century. Okay, you see, this is the meme, right? AMP provides assets like CUSD, I don't know why I didn't read that properly, with instant verifiable assurance for any real-world application. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it sounds alright. I mean, I'm still a bit vague on what exactly it does. Like, I understand basically what it probably does, but I need to like get into how it does it essentially. That's like their USP. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll look into this later. I just don't want to sit here in silence and kind of analyze it live unless that's what you guys want to see. But yeah, I'll save that tab. I'll save that tab, bro. Appreciate you sending me that. I'll have a look at it. If you see a video on it, you know I like it. Hey, I'm into infrastructure. I don't think anyone realizes how big these market caps can actually get with time. Are you bullish on Render, Flux, AKT? I only know two of those, Render and Flux. I don't know AKT, but I 100% agree with you, Scott. You're onto it, mate. You're onto it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Infrastructure is going to be everything. You think about how anything operates. You've got to have infrastructure. If it's a real life business, it's the building. It's the chairs, it's the tables, it's the staff, it's the basic stuff. When you have a decentralized network, the staff, the infrastructure itself is the layer 1, layer 0 network. It's the token, it's how the token is valued and captured. So yeah, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, mate. You're onto something there. Anything that builds on top, you can make money on, right? That's just like the applications, that's like the customers coming in, that's the small above the shoulders mustard shit, as they would say in what's that movie called? Oh my god, I've hit a mind blank. Wolf of Wall Street. DHN, my brother, thanks for coming on. Appreciate what you're doing. Waking up with your family. Shout out from the US. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you coming on. Must be pretty early there, I think. Yeah, it's like 7 a.m. At least on the East Coast, I think. 7 a.m. PST when I started. If you don't mind sharing, what do you do for a living? Always curious. I do this for a living. I quit my full-time job. I saved up just enough money to sustain myself if shit hit the fan. And so, like, I'll be completely transparent with you guys, right? So YouTube's always about viewers, retention. So I like never saw YouTube as that. So you saw my previous content, doing the deeper dives and stuff like that, and that's what I love, right? But those videos take like a week, sometimes 2 weeks to publish. And it wasn't sustainable, right? Because they'd get like 1,000, 2,000 views in like, you know, perpetuity, like a couple of weeks, right? And it would stay the same. So I'm like, okay, I have a vast amount of knowledge. How can I like impact the most amount of people and like create faster content, daily content? And I thought, well, try some things out, did some research on other YouTubers, how do things work, retention, just looked up how to grow on YouTube pretty much, and like did lots of research there. I've got a whole Excel spreadsheet on like analyzing thumbnails and titles, and I just went, all right, let's do it. And then so yeah, you can, if you look back a month, I've started the new content in a month, and I've grown like almost 3,000 subscribers since I started doing that. And it's not all about that, of course. We're not just about subscribers and stuff like that or views, but I'm doing this full time now. So that's what I have to focus on. And that's why I talk so fast. I've gotten into the habit of doing this, like I said earlier, because, you know, I want to share so much. My brain is going like 100 miles an hour. That's why I kind of use the slides to help prompt me sometimes, and to obviously be a direction for you. And yeah, so I just want to share the most amount of quality content in the shortest time on just really interesting topics, right? It might be a project, it might be one video every fortnight on Hedera, but it's always going to be slightly different, talking about something different, right? I definitely don't want to bore you guys. But what do you think about the narrative real-world assets like GFI, TRU, MPL, etc.? Yeah, real-world assets. I'm guessing you're talking about like tokenization of the real-world assets. Yeah, big industry. I think I read an article the other day. It's about $2.5 billion market cap, and they reckon it's only going to swell to like 11 billion by 2030. I think that's a lot of crap. I think the real-world assets are the tokenization of them is gonna blow up, right? We have so many different networks out there that are focusing on this, and you have ones like probably the ones you've mentioned. I haven't heard of those. Maybe GFI, could be wrong. That focus on different things. Yeah, I haven't heard of GFI, any of these. That do it in a different degree. You have Centrifuge tokenizing real-world assets, right? But real estate, cars, like even your bills, like anything really, like my laptop, like you can do that on Centrifuge, right, on Chainlink. But then you have networks like Stellar, XLM that are like tokenizing assets, also reserve rights. So, you know, you have all these different possibilities, and I think the industry will blow up well and truly above $11 billion by 2030. I mean, I could be wrong. That was a very credible article, but I think moving forward, it definitely will be at some stage. I've heard government officials, if not a president from one small country, talk about how it's going to be leveraged, how blockchain will be used for the tokenization of real-world assets, right? Your channel is on pace for 1 million views in the next 30 days. What will you do to celebrate, Greg? Yeah. Whew, that's another good question, man. You're on fire. What do you guys want to see me do for a 1 million views celebration? I'm not going to parachute out of a plane. I don't know. That's a good question. We'll see what the general consensus is. I might do like a special video. If you guys want to see a special video on something, just for fun, please give me a number. I have 40k Gala, 1000 NEO, 1500 KDA, 1500 Flux, so on and so forth. Where do you see my portfolio at the end of 2025? Thanks, mate. Now, I'm not going to answer that question because that technically is financial advice. As much as I would love to, that might take up a bit of time as well to do that now. yeah, that's going to be a bit too much brain power right now to figure all those out individually and then give you an estimate. But suffice to say, you're in some good projects, mate. You're in some good projects. I'm not invested in Sand, not invested in Cadena, but I'm invested in the rest. So, and I've got videos on most of those. Hey, I got my Gala on CoinSpot. They will support the V2 update. Yes. No. CoinSpot, yes. They should. If it was me, man, if I was you, I would transfer that to a more credible exchange. I don't know too much about CoinSpot. The good thing about CoinSpot, I've trashed on CoinSpot before because they've screwed me up multiple times now. I would just give them a call, man. Give them a call tomorrow. I'm guessing you're Australian or from New Zealand. Yeah, call them up and just ask them. They're pretty good with the calls. Witnet better than Chainlink. I honestly, Chuck, good to see you, bro. I haven't heard of Witnet. Vam, BRC20, are you Chico crypto in disguise? Mini alt season this summer or just meme coin pamp? Yeah, probably just right now it's meme coin based. I mean, we'll see what the markets look like at the end of this week because as we know, typically Sundays prices do drop down, but I think right now it's just a bit of meme coin action. Very, you know, maybe a very, very small sort of, if you want to say altcoin season, but not traditional altcoin season. Any thoughts on Velo Chinese XRP? New roadmap, lots of things happening. Ooh. I haven't heard of them, man. Velo. So you say they're Chinese. Oh. Built on Binance Smart Chain. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of the Binance Smart Chain, honestly. Supercharge money velocity. Connecting businesses and individuals with global proof of funds to supercharge the velocity of money through seamless financial services powered by... Yeah, see, okay, we're talking about memetics, right? This is probably a good example. And what I was saying before with... I forget what project that was now, how they like boiled down their meme in this particular, you know, landing page. Doesn't tell me too much, right? I mean, it does a little bit, right? Global proof of funds, supercharge velocity of money through seamless financial services. I mean, it's just like gibberish. To be completely transparent with you guys, this is just what I think to myself. Yeah, see, like this is the thing about projects, right? They need to captivate you. You need to land on the project and you forget the fluff, forget all the images, forget all the funny, fancy business. They need to sell what they're doing straight away. I shouldn't have to look at the white paper to understand what the project's talking about. And again, I'm not going to take up your time to reading this, guys. But no, I appreciate you asking the question. I'm just going to leave these open, right? I'm going to look at these projects after the stream. I might be able to provide you guys with some better answers. Again, I'm always open to looking at some new projects, right? I started the channel focusing on micro caps. Now I want to look at projects because we're in a bear market, so we have the same great projects at just really cheap prices. Actually, that cheap that they were the same in 2020. So I want to kind of focus more on those projects right now because that's just the honest, better answer in my opinion. So this might be one to look at in future. But yeah, probably not right now. But I'll have a look at it after the stream and let you know. If you see a video on it, again, you know it's good. DHN, brother, AMP is a low-key payment processing superpower. Use on-chain liquidity to process transactions for a given chain. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I need to look more into it. Because there's some good projects out there that are very low market caps that are somewhat hidden. Morpheus Network, actually. Is it MPH? No. Morpheus. This is one of them, right? Yeah, they're only a 70 mil market cap, yet from what I've looked at so far, they're a powerhouse. And look at this. I mean, circulating supply there's not much more tokens to go out. So, yeah, you know, you have lots of good projects as well because you got to understand, like, these projects, if the top 100 were like, let's just say 10x, 15x on average higher than what they were before, meaning their market caps were, better plug my computer in, were a hell of a lot higher than what they are now. I mean, these projects probably were as once upon a time as well. Well, let's just verify that. So, you know, they look a bit misleading. You know, 70 mil market cap doesn't sound that great, but in reality, yeah, 222 mil market cap. So yeah, I just need to do more research onto some of these projects. Again, I could give you guys the TLDR on them. I could just spin some yarns and just let you know, oh, this does this or this does this, or have a look at AMP. Yeah, it looks pretty good, but I'm not gonna say for definitively if it is or not. I don't want to lie. Dragon Chain, never heard of it, mate, to be honest. Marlin Layer 0 will be huge, yeah. Yeah, I need to look more. I mean, Pond was a project I was going to invest in back when I first got into crypto. And I decided not to because simply I just didn't know too much about it. But it is an infrastructure project from memory, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Man, this is the beautiful thing about crypto is innovation is happening right before our eyes. You see these projects launching all the time, and we get so much crap. It's like, oh, you crypto nerds. It's like, there's some choice words I want to use here, but it's like the saying, like the steps to success. When you start something, let's just use YouTube for an example. You get laughed at, everyone jokes around, then they take you more seriously, and then when you're on top, then they start to look up to you, and then they aspire to be you. So that's the way I kind of see it, right? Is everyone's kind of crapping on crypto, and it's like, well, we're just people. One, we're probably drawn to crypto because of the money, but we fall in love with it. The reason why you're all here watching my stream in the middle of a bear market is because even though you like money, you definitely think it's going to amount to something in the future, which is what I respect. You found my channel at 2 to 3K. Wow. Wow, you would have seen a lot change in that time. 6 a.m. school time. Yeah. I was shocked at the number of people watching this, then I realized most are busy watching only BS crypto channels. Yeah, I mean, it's my first stream. Honestly, Vam, before I started the stream, I told myself I didn't expect any more than 20 people on here. So because my first stream, and I didn't really announce anything to you guys apart from, a couple of days ago. So yeah, no, you guys are legends. What do you think of Constellation DAG, a partner with the US Air Force and infinitely scalable with direct acyclic graphs? I've reviewed DAG. I did like a somewhat overview video, and then I've done a deep dive video. There's a lot of concerns I have with the project. I think most people will probably tell you the same thing. I think even the OGs, from what, I've spoken to a few OGs in the project, and there is some things that they couldn't answer that I had questions about. Most of the answers were, NDA agreements, but, the facts don't lie. They still have an open workings with the US Air Force. But there's one thing you guys have to remember is like that particular program, I think it was the HBAR programs, that funds a whole heap of US-based projects focusing on like the development of technology, right? Because they obviously want to be the best of the best. And I am literally split in the middle, 50-50. I don't know whether they truly are or aren't, but again, facts don't lie. So that's one project that I've reviewed very deeply. I know how the network works on like a mid-level. I just couldn't tell you whether or not the real important part of like whether it actually is working with the Defense Force is true. But I know recently that they have pushed some really important news. I think that they actually released their smart contract platform, or like they're allowing people to actually build on the network now. Some really important milestone has just happened that, for me, confirms a bit more validity. So just remember that. I would look into it more. Actually, I need to look into it more. But I kind of was like, okay, there's other projects I want to look at right now and focus on. Do you like Solgenic? It had a massive DEX on XRPL and is the future of tokenized assets. So yeah, someone else mentioned Solgenic. It might have been you before, mate. Sorry I didn't get to you. Solgenic. Am I spelling that right? Sologenic. Here we go. Very powerful. You're in control. Jump into the future of DeFi with Solgenic. Connect your private. Again, like I wish they just like told us more at the start what they were. I guess everyone's different, but 1.5 million transactions per month. Okay. All right. I want to just try to share as much information as I can with you guys, and I'm just riffing off what I think straight away. I don't like it when projects tell you stuff like 20 million page views per month. When they start talking about when you look at a project, and this is what I talk about in my course, right? In my I've got like a blueprint, and I go over quite a lot in that. One of those things is applying lenses before you start looking into crypto. Like if you have to wake up and just read those and apply those yourself, that's what you have to do. But essentially, one of those things is remember that these projects are trying to sell you their token. Okay, so the fact that they've mentioned 20 million plus page views per month, you don't have to tell us that. Like they're trying to sell you on that this is a good project. I could be completely wrong. There actually legitimately might be a very good project, but I just don't like that. And remember guys, okay, if you find something like that you feel like is a bit iffy on some major projects that everyone seems to agree is a good project, go with your gut. If you feel like that's like a very disingenuous thing for them to say or do or whatever it might be, go with your gut. I've learned a lot from that in my crypto journey. So yeah, let's have a look. Okay. Connect your private wallet, blah, blah, blah. Decentralized chain built for traders. Maximum security, okay. Okay, yeah, this actually seems quite good, yeah. So it's built on XRP, and as you said, and it's built for traders. That's good. So it's a good infrastructure. It's a where crypto is going, where a part of the decentralized exchange market will be heading is this, right? So obviously, if you can pull centralized, markets in a way onto a decentralized manner where you don't have to worry about all the other, downsides to using a centralized exchange, it's fantastic. So yeah, but again, remember, what I'm always thinking of is if I died tomorrow, what would my family be able to do with the projects I'm investing in if they found them in 10, 15 years? The chances of this being like the next big thing is quite slim. 48 mil market cap, let's not worry too much about that, but it's like I'm looking for those big plays. Please talk about Polkadot. My God, is that Toga? Toga, my friend. Don't get me started on that, mate, because I will be here to the sun comes up talking about DOT. Now, that's one project I could tell you how the tech works pretty well and how like the systems operate. When I say I've got a mid-level understanding, when I say low level, I couldn't tell you exactly how things function, talking about, all the different types of jargon that developers do, right? I know most of the jargon, I just don't know all of it. So I know Polkadot pretty confidently at a mid-level, right? So talk about DOT. Where do I start? It's a very... I'll tell you one thing I'm concerned about DOT, right? The one thing I'm concerned about DOT is its value capture. So you've got a layer 0 infrastructure, okay? And what's the most important thing for a project to grow? You've got, to grow in value, you have to somehow make an incentivization mechanism for the token. Otherwise, it's not going to go up in price. You could have DOT being utilized by all these different parachains and be like the center of Web3, for example, and it's low market cap or it's not as high as what it could be because it doesn't capture value. So that's a little bit of a concern I have about Polkadot is like, we talk about, and this is a very highly debated topic, parachains, right? So they have the 100 parachains, and I think once all the 100 slots are like being taken up, by that time it might have to cycle through again. But essentially, there's always going to be a build-up from that point of projects wanting to become a parachain. So I feel like once the initial 100 unlock, or at least the first 75 unlock, I feel like there's going to be, before that, a lot less demand. So you'll find like projects like Moonbeam, Akala, or whatever it is, like Interlay, whatever it might be, right? They won't have to put as much tokens back in. But in saying that as well, the general market won't have to actually really bond as much tokens as they would now, or at least ever have to again, because these projects have typically an inbuilt mechanism in them that part of the transaction fees go to a treasury that locks the tokens for the bonding event, right? Lots to talk about, but essentially, yeah, Polkadot has I'm not 100% sold on its value capture. I think it could be a lot better. DHN, yes. Smash the like button, guys. I can't see anything right now because I'm on my small little phone. I probably should bring my spare monitor in here actually when I do these live streams, but yes, thank you, brother. Thank you. If you guys are liking the content, please let me know you love it. OnlyFans for 1 million views. Phew. OnlyFans for 1 million views. Those videos would have to be highly crypto orientated in some fashion, because my body right now is not looking hot. Scott, how would you feel if you held Gala token and found out they printed 1 million tokens already today? Personally, wouldn't invest anything. Fixed supply, these founders don't care about you. Is that what happened, Scott? Did they print 1 million tokens today? I would like to know more about this. I would understand if they printed more tokens or created more tokens on their mainnet and then like told you guys, oh, we're going to do like the 1-to-1 ratio, but then you guys are still getting diluted. That would be like bad. But I would sort of understand that. But if they like, I mean, it's a smart contract, right? Velo is a decent project. Curious about the Visa partnership. Ooh, yes. That could be big. But you're right, man. Like, definitely all these things at face value sound great. But as you know, I mean, you're a great YouTuber. By the way, guys, subscribe to DHN Crypto. My man is killing it right now. And like when we talk about, when I say before, like I don't watch any other YouTubers. If I'm gonna watch a crypto YouTuber, it's DHN, right? This guy's a legend. So check him out, subscribe. Like, you know, some of the bigger YouTubers, they actually, let me rephrase that. Most of the big YouTubers don't know what they're talking about. I gain more value from smaller creators because we're the ones that have to provide more value to get ahead. Talking about Black Swan events, some BS. Thoughts on thoughts on a new project, Carbon Browser? Okay, haven't heard of it. Oh, Glimmer Dan, brother, good to see you. I'm jumping around the place here. Again, guys, in future, the plan is to teach you something in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of these live streams, answer questions after that. That's going to be the point of these. Today, I just wanted to jump on here and just say hello, check the first live stream out, find out any kinks that might be occurring, and yeah, we might close up soon. Carbon Browser, okay. Ooh, is it a green browser? Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So it's like constantly has a like the privacy built into it, and it's decentralized. That's cool. So it's like Brave on steroids. Yeah. Again, I'll leave this up. I'll leave this up in the back end, and after the live stream, we'll take a look at it. Appreciate you sending me that, mate. Thoughts on staking your crypto? Okay, good question, Pete. Staking your crypto is very important. My philosophy is don't stake on exchanges. Don't stake on any third-party website, Celsius, for an example, or what was the other one? I forget now. I slipped my mind. Anyway, I was staking my Bitcoin on a third-party staking platform. God, that's going to annoy me. Anyway, you shouldn't do that. Always, in my opinion, if you're going to stake or delegate, understand the risk to reward there. One thing you have to remember is the liquidity of your tokens. So if you're staking or bonding, always make sure you check the unlocking mechanism first, because the last thing you want is a bull run or your project's taking off. You're like, oh my God, yes, I'm going to make some money. And you hit the unlock button. It's like, okay, 2 or 4 week unlock period. Like, there's nothing more frustrating than that. It happened to me once. Okay, so make sure you check the requirements on the staking or the bonding, and especially if you do bond your tokens to a node, make sure, cannot stress this enough, that if there is a slashing mechanism, meaning if that node you're giving your tokens to misbehaves, you could have your tokens confiscated because of that. Because you're saying that I trust this person, right? Typically, when you delegate, you get more rewards than staking, but there is a higher risk. Same with liquidity pools, right? If the liquidity pool is drained, or if something happens with the token, point being that the liquidity pool is drained, your token's going to be worth nothing. So there's a lot of risk involved, but I would say when you're staking your tokens, the best thing to do is get the native wallet, stake in there, or stake on the main wallet if you can. Because essentially, if that project craps the bed and the network is destroyed, Okay, well, you couldn't do, unless you were quick enough to get them off, you couldn't do anything about that anyway, right? Your tokens are useless now, and they would have been useless if they were on a centralized exchange or third-party staking platform. If you then stake or hold them on a wallet that's on a centralized counterparty, if they collapse and that network's still running, you're going to hate yourself because there's still that chance that you can move those tokens around and sell it somewhere else. That's my philosophy. That's my philosophy. Yeah, Rubicon, brother. It's John. Is that your first name, John? I want to make sure I address you properly. But yeah, mate. So I answered that question earlier in the stream. If you want, go back and listen to it because I just want to keep. Actually, maybe I'll just quickly touch on it again because we've got a whole new bunch of people in here. Essentially, I had a guy that was just coming into my workplace, a whole heap, family friend, but he was a customer first, and he kept annoying me about crypto, and eventually I gave in, typed in Bitcoin, and from there it literally feels like a massive white blur, and here I am. That's how I remember it. It's just blur. Like I remember literally typing in what is Bitcoin, and then oof. So that's it. That's just boiled down truth. You need to be careful who you stake with. You don't just want to be the first. That's exactly right. High APY, high APR. Projects like to push up how much APY they give you. Like if it's like 100% or 1,000%, some do that to incentivize people to stake to secure the network. Which makes a bit of sense, and they normally delegate a bit of their distribution, their treasury, for that exact reason, right? But there's always like nuances to it, okay? Because that can actually be a very bad thing if it's sustained. If they're like guaranteeing you 100%, even like 25%, like we saw with Anchor, like a sustained APY is still very dangerous, even if it like might sound somewhat reasonable, 25%, for example. So you got to think about that. Where are these tokens coming from? How am I getting these tokens? They have to come from somewhere. If it's a network like Near Protocol where they have a steady inflation rate, so the network will always just produce 5% of the supply year on year, well, that makes a bit of sense because the protocol is minting tokens by itself. Okay, so that makes sense, and they pay the validators and the stakers for that. So yeah, that makes sense. But if that money is coming from a fixed supply, that's dangerous. So Hedera Hashgraph, for example, has what's called account 800. That's just their account. It's like 0.0.800, and that is the staking account. Every night, midnight UTC, the funds are distributed to all the stakers and delegators, whatever it might be, okay? But if that account ever runs out, there's no staking rewards because it's a fixed supply, so it's up to the community to delegate their tokens to that. Okay, if the community just stops donating to that account, no one's going to get staking rewards. But it can move, like the percentage obviously can move based on how many people are putting funds into that account. So yeah, you always want to make sure you're looking at it a little bit deeper than just, this is fantastic. This is fantastic APY. Shahid, hello, brother. Is that Con? At what price would you buy Quant being wanted? Would you buy Quant being wanting to get? I don't know why I can't read right. At what price would you buy Quant being wanted to get in? I missed it last year, saying it's going to lower. Lol, that worked out. I need to get 100 more for grand total of 100. Yeah. Again, I'm trying to get under $100 for Quant. Again, I'm holding most of my. I've got a large pot of money. I'm waiting to dollar cost average because I strongly believe there'll be a deeper crash still to come. So yeah, I'm waiting for that. But ultimately, dollar cost average, if Quant drops to a decent price under $100, I'll begin injecting more and more money into that. Otherwise, if no other projects are going well, if Quant's the lowest one that week, I will put some money in there. I just woke up and did a stream. You did a stream or I'm doing a stream? Either way, appreciate you being here, Rinky, sorry. Shahid, 100% impressed by knowledge, buddy. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. I've been staking on-chain for a year now. Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, Moonbeam, and no issue with any of them. Fantastic. All great projects, mate. All great projects. Wish you well for 2025. I did most of my staking with a SEX, but I also stake some of my HBAR on Hashpack. Awesome. Super simple. I agree. It's a great wallet. Happy it's out now. Happy it's functioning as intended. I've seen Casper pushed recently. Yes. I'm doing my next versus video on Casper versus Cadena. That'll be a fun one. The tech is very interesting, using Ghost Egg protocol, aiming to be an electronic peer-to-peer payment system if BTC is gold. Yeah, okay. So the interesting thing about Casper is I saw a recent thread on some guy mentioned that the founder has been cited in like a whole bunch of really promising white papers like Ethereum, Cardano, what else? He was just mentioning a whole heap of white papers essentially, which is very good because obviously they're gaining their knowledge from him. So he has to be a smart guy, right? Whoa, we got so many questions here. I'm having a hard time getting through. Let me just skim through these, then we might finish up, guys. Why am I bullish on HBAR? Business first, mate. Business first. They are leveraging crypto. They are one-of-a-kind hashgraph technology. They're doing things by the traditional business book, which I find respectable, but they also have plans to fully democratize and decentralize the network in future. It's all about visionary stuff. Very, very solid project. It's a bank holiday, UK. Ah, awesome. Appreciate it. Utilizing your time wisely. Opinion on Polkadot, bought a large sum. Yeah, I spoke about it just briefly a second ago. I love Polkadot. I do have some concerns with the value capture though, so just keep that in mind. It's not enough for me to sell my, there's always holes in a ship. So that's just my problem with Polkadot, okay? Do you have a finance or tech uni background? No, I'm all actually self-taught. Completely self-taught. I had a couple courses I'm going to put myself through from Berkeley, and there's another, I forget which one, but yeah, anyway, there was a couple courses I'm going to take from Berkeley online college, and other than that, I've just been reading white papers for years now, and research. There was a point in time where I'd have to look up every second word in a white paper simply because, how can someone break into that having no prior background? I had finance background. I was in banking for 4 years. And I read about 5-6 stock market real estate books. I was focused on real estate before crypto, so I know some of the more general things and can apply that to crypto. And so yeah, I just do lots of research every day, and I love it. I think the more you understand about the white papers and read the tech, you can catch people out on their bullshit. Talk about Mina. Ooh. That's one of the thoughts. That's one of the projects that I could talk all day about. Huge stuff coming up for Mina. It is still quite it's a bit scary because there's so much that can go wrong with Mina, but I feel like they have the team that can help bring that to life. Okay, they have ZK oracles. They're focusing on ZK rollups. They got ZK apps. Everything's like zero knowledge based, so lots of room for error. Computationally heavy, therefore slow transactions per second. Also can be slow finality as well, but they are working on moving computation off chain. So, but I'm a big bullish. I'm very bullish on ZK oracles. That'll be huge. Thoughts on Link? Yeah, Tony, I did mention that before. I'm starting to run out of steam. Again, first time live streaming. I haven't talked this long for a long time now. What narrative am I buying for next bull market? Yeah, I did briefly touch on this. Earlier in the stream where I showed you guys. Now I've made a video on this again. I'll just keep this up in the background. This one here. So I have my narratives that I'm looking at. These ones here. That I think will be really, really good in the future. There are a couple other ones that I haven't put in here, but these are the main ones. Yeah. You are wrong. I love to be challenged. Okay, let's see. There are not 100 parachains. That was an early statement. In the Polkadot sub-edit, a staff member from Parity claimed that there is no hard limit. Polkadot can handle up to 200-300 parachains. Yeah, I mean, sure it can handle up to 200-300. I know that I've read that they plan to increase that to unlimit that. But I don't know about them claiming that they're going to unlock that immediately. I thought there was a hard limit initially. There's no cap in parachain auctions. We'll keep even after we hit 100. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's no... Okay, so let's just say hypothetically you're right. Okay, let's just say that there is 100... there's no hard cap on the amount of parachains there is, and we just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Well, then a whole lot of my business logic goes out the window because for a project... Okay, so for me, like, they're tracking the 100 parachains, right? Well, the current parachain. So when parachain 1, let's just say Moonbeam unlocks, how's that going to work with like when you're talking about coming back on? Like, so what I'm trying to say is the only like factor that limits how many parachains can be active at one point in time is the fact that these auctions take whatever every 2-3 weeks, whatever it is, to offer a new slot. So how does that work? Does Moonbeam go off, a Gala comes number 1, a Gala comes off, and they have to just like an endless blockchain in a way? You say to 2 to 300, that would make more sense. If they unlock it to 2 to 300, that makes a bit more sense. But I just don't know how these projects are worried about bonding. In that case, if there's no hard cap on the amount of parachains there is, well, there's no value capture. Why do they even have bonding in the first place? They might just have, okay, well, if you think it should be a parachain, come on and just pay 10 dot and hook up, you know? Not Superman. Jason, actually, Superman is the guy that got me into YouTube. He said something that stuck with me. He said on one of his live streams that there'll be people listening to this live stream right now that know a lot about crypto that will start a YouTube channel and have 100K subscribers by the end of the year. Now, that was like 2 years ago, so that never happened. But I was like, my God, I know so much. Like, I need to share this. And so I was like, okay, I should do YouTube. That was the reason why I started. Voyager, Ledger. Man, I want to say, for the record, everyone that's on right now, I appreciate you all so much. I see lots of you guys in my comment sections. Guys, I am sweating right now. As I said before, I mean, I'm sick. I'm getting sick. So I've got a jumper on and it's really hot right now. I'm sweating. I've got like 3 lights on me. So we might close up here, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Lots more to talk about. There is, again, like in future live streams, people, I forgot your name now. Was it GG? No. Yeah, GG. Challenge me, please. As I said, videos, ideologies, what I'm saying, we're a team. We're a friggin' team, guys. I want you to appreciate you all my comments. I love when people help each other. I just want to be like a very transparent channel, right? And we're all here to learn. We're all here to get better. If I get rich, good. If 1,000 people that follow me get rich, that's going to make my day. And it really does. You just see me in the mornings responding to comments. I got a bigger smile on my face. All right, I'm so sorry I didn't get back to every single one of you. I'm going to try to get a better setup in this bloody room for next time. But yeah, anyway, guys, I appreciate you all coming on. Thank you again for supporting me. Again, live streams every single Monday from here on out, unless I'm sick next week, at the same time, right? It's 7 p.m. my time, I think 9 a.m. UTC. All right, thanks all. And remember, if you want to be a moderator, please go to my Twitter after this, send me a DM, and we'll jump on a call, and we'll figure out who should be moderators. All right, thanks all. Talk to you soon. Bear with me while I try to exit the stream. This will be fun.